Hey YouTube, well I'm here to talk about Queen Sugar, season 3, episode 9. Okay, it's a good episode. It starts off with Ralph and this girl. He said the way he talks so funny. Her name is either Trey or Trent. I know Trent would be in keeping with her culture, but maybe it's Trey. I don't know. It sounds like he's saying Trey. Ralph speaks with this heavy borderline accent. Him and his girl walking, they're taking this romantic walk, and he pops, not the big question, he ain't ready to marry the girl after a few weeks, but he wanted them to be an item, more than friends, shall we say. And she said, of course, she likes him, right? That plot thickens, and pretty quick too. Okay, next thing we see, and I don't know why I didn't put this down, but I don't forget who Charlie was talking to. Maybe it was an attorney when they were explaining eminent domain and how it could be used. I mean, Charlie's an intelligent woman, but how it could be used in this instance. So apparently these Landrys are trying to get all their land back for their plans to build this huge jail, right? And they're saying whoever this person is, some kind of lawyer, is explaining that eminent domain means that if they have the majority of the land, they can take your land because they need it for some project that involves the government. So now, this is what she's up against, and she's hot. So next thing we see is Jacob calls. Is that guy Jacob? Yeah, I get these names, all these TV shows. I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but Jacob, I think it was Jacob in Greenleaf too. So I think his name is Jacob. Calls Charlie and wants her to meet with his mother. Why would I want to meet with her? Charlie is still mad at this guy because he knew about what the Landrys were up to, and he didn't tell her. She found out on her own that they were planning on his jail, right? So she has a right to be kind of perturbed with him because she's trying to figure out if she could trust him or not, and he proved that she couldn't, in fact. So he still seems sincere. We still don't know what this man, how his mind works really, or what his motives are, but he wants her to meet with his mother. Charlie initially says no. He kind of pleads with her. It'd be to her benefit. And Charlie agrees to meet with this guy's mother, right? Okay, Nova gets, next thing we know, Nova gets an offer to publicize. She's been writing this new book, right? And she's been submitting some of the pages to the publisher. Well, this lady is there from the publishing house, and they want to run some articles based on her project as she's writing the book. They're very interested in her father's story and about his depression. So Nova says she'll think about it because she hasn't really finished that story. Basically, they want to take the chapter she's worked on so far and publish it as a series of articles in a magazine. Focusing in on her father's depression. I guess that's what she wrote so far. She hasn't said no, but she hasn't said yes yet. Okay? Vi gets a visit from Jared. Jared, who is her business partner, who she is suspecting that she may have run him off now because of this lupus diagnosis. But he comes to visit her, and I guess this is the church's kitchen. They're in the big kitchen. She's making her pies. And he comes to tell her, yes, he wants her to take care of herself. But so far, this man seems like just a good guy. Honestly, I hope they're not going to turn this character into somebody with ulterior motives or something like that. It seems like every time you get something from the South, it's always got to be, the blacks against the whites, and, the whites can't be trusted and all that kind of stuff. This seems like just a good country man. She's a good country woman, and they just have a business proposal. She was going to give him a proposal last week, you guys remember, and she got sick, and then he had to take her home. And so things were in question because the deal had not been signed off on. This time he comes there and he brings the documents. She thought I might have messed this up. He said, no, the big lady has not sung yet. I don't hear her. Not before the fat lady sings, whatever. He gives her the papers to sign, look over these and give me your answer. So later we find out when she's talking to Hollywood that this is not just about the pies in his stores. This is about her pie shop as well. She's going to get her pie shop as well as being in business with this guy. It's good for Vi. Yeah, I hope nothing else. I don't get the impression that anything's going to go bad with that situation. But as long as people are not taking advantage of each other, I really don't care. You know, I just don't want them to turn everybody into a villain. All right, so Darla. Okay, now I say I told you so, but I told you so from the very beginning. Right when Ralph started treating Darla like an old wash rag, I knew that this girl was going to be coming for her child as she got more healthy. This boy is about 8 years old, right? He needs to be with his mother, only in my opinion. You can't take a person out of somebody else's body and just take him from her. At first she said she wanted 50% custody with him. Ralph balked at that. Okay, so she balked at that. Now she wants 70%, 30% with him. In other words, the kid needs to be in some kind of stable environment. She can offer him that. Darla has, you guys know I like her. She's doing everything she's supposed to do. Yes, she's had some help from her family, but like she brought up last week, so have you, Ralph. Wasn't this farm given to you? Haven't your sisters help you all along the way? Yes, so now her family's helping her as well to be established because Blue needs a stable home. They had more than one way to look at it. He's looking at it like, oh, I missed 4 years in the prison. I did everything for. Well, you had a good chunk of time with him, and now it's time for her to have a good chunk of time with the kid. This is his mother, born of her womb. I know y'all don't like that. That's all right. That's all right. We're all entitled to our opinions. This is only my opinions here. Okay. So she tells him that she wants 70%, him 30%. But she brings up an interesting point. This is a dude who is running a big farm full-time and working part-time. So when does he have a time to be a father? I mean, to raising his kid. You know, in the situation where they had no choice, it had to be that way, then yes, he was doing, what had to be done. He had Vi to help him and some of the other people to help him. But now, she's in town. She's got her own place. She's working. All right. Of course, he's an old sourpuss. He doesn't communicate very well because he could have just made his argument there. But of course, he gets the eyes that wander away. Instead of I don't know why, but Ralph just oppresses me as a person who would be an abuser. He just seems like a person because he always seems on the very verge of going to snap, and on her. Now, I have some prejudice there because from my family, my mother was very light-skinned. My stepfather was very dark-skinned. He was an abuser. I used to see all that violence. And I saw how I can admit that I have some prejudice, perhaps. But he seems like a person on the verge all the time. And they do remind me of that couple that I came from. I'm not saying that is them. All right. Okay, Vi and Hollywood. Hollywood's got Vi off of this fancy place. Looks out over beautiful gardens and things. And he's telling her about his plans for this big, beautiful wedding. She's saying, I don't need all this necessary. I don't need all this. But part of her wants it. Women dream of their wedding day. And he wants to do it so bad. So they discuss their plans for this big wedding at that place. And she springs on him that she's going to have her shop. She shows him the contracts. So she had a plan. She got what she wanted. So it was a success for her. So they're planning on this great big wedding thing. I don't think it's that scene, but later on, she's gonna start asking him, "What are your dreams, baby?" I guess he wanted to go in partnership in a barbershop somewhere, and she had shot it down, not realizing that might have been what he wanted in his life, his dream. I guess a business person, a person's dream is to have their own business. I didn't necessarily mean there has to be a certain kind of business. My dream is to sell peas, or my dream is to sell pies, or whatever it is, whatever the product is. The dream is to have your own business, to be independent, right? So she wants to encourage him, and because he has money right now, he had a big lawsuit, so he still has money. He shouldn't blow it all on things like weddings. She wants to support him, but she doesn't really. She hasn't taken time to find out what his dream is. Okay, Micha and these friends of his. All right, I think we all figured out that these friends were going to be trouble, right? So they're not bad kids. They're a little angry, and they are the Southern kids, and they are activists. So they want to do something about this plantation, this tourist plantation. They want to make a statement there. People shouldn't be owning the property, laughing, joking about things that were very serious for black people, right? They decide they want to. First, I thought they were just going to vandalize the property and write all over the buildings and so forth. But no, there's a slave shack, or a little small, little tiny shotgun place. So God knows how many people were housed there. It's basically a shack. And they took and they spray painted the names of the slaves that they knew about. You know, they have some history, and put them on like grave markers, and put them all around this slave shack, and lit candles and so forth. But as they were lighting the candles, one of the kids dropped his backpack where they were carrying all these flammables on the porch, in the way of one of these candles. Long story short, the place caught on fire. The shack burned. Now the little girl, there's one girl in their pack, because they were going to go just put the fire out of the backpack, right, when they first caught the flame. They might have some trouble, because if those cans were still around, those spray paint cans, I assume they had them in that bag because they wanted to take them away from there. They could explode. So maybe that's why all the kids held Micha and the other guy back from putting the fire out. But they sat there and watched that thing burn until they heard someone with a shotgun coming at them, firing in the air. All right, so now they done burned this place down on this plantation. Okay. Okay, this is a scene I did not like. This is a scene I did not like. I know Charlie is still angry with Jacob. She feels like he wasn't honest with her. But when he asked her to meet with his mother, and they go to her estate or mansion, Charlie is extremely rude to this woman. Now, I don't give a damn how you feel. We don't know this woman is the devil yet, right? This is this boy's mother. You're in her house. She wanted to meet with you to discuss business, and you are just so almost on the verge of being evil to her. Now, maybe this woman is the devil, but we have to at least find out she's a devil before you start treating her that way. And you treat people with respect when you're in their house, and you treat them with respect when you are with their son. I mean, you are there in the house with him. You would think you would have enough respect for this, for Jacob, because this is his mother. If I met somebody on the street, if that's your mother, of course I'm going to treat her with respect. But there's a good chance we'll find out later this woman is evil. But for the moment, the mother, who is Landry's sister, she's better, and she wants that company. She does not want thieves and murderers roaming the land that their family handed down. So she wants Charlie to team with her. Now, Charlie only owns 1%. I don't know why she would need Charlie. But they had, he just looks like a smart, intelligent, conniving woman. She feels that she needs Charlie, if they would team up together, to take down Landry and put her in charge of the Landry fortune. This project, this whole jail thing would be done. They could put a stop to it if she was in charge. So she presents it to Charlie. Charlie is not nice to this woman at all. She doesn't crack a smile. Why should I trust you? Oh, you the devil. Like that. That's her attitude. Now, of course, we don't know where it's going to go. But initially, I didn't like Charlie's. I just thought it seemed kind of rude. Because she never even heard of this woman before. If she's going to do something bad, wait till she says something bad and then jump all down her throat. Anyway. So that's starting up. Oh, she gives her something to prove herself. She tells Charlie about all this information. She knows that Charlie's been curious about her nephew, right? And she gives her a folder with all the information on this nephew, who also owns shares of the Landry's fortune company. This is something Charlie wanted. She wanted someone to find out. So I don't know how this woman knows that she was looking into the nephew. Let's hope that this other woman that Charlie, had assigned to looking into him, that she's not somehow tangled up. We don't know. That's off the top of my head. All right. Remy and Nova, they together and they kissing now. Passionate kissing. They've known each other as children. Now I guess back where there are that kind of farmland and so forth, there are not that many young people there. I mean, guys and girls that are single, they probably don't have a lot to pick from. So maybe it's not uncommon that you would be fucking your sister's boyfriend. Anyway. So they are kissing now. Now, Nova has not got the best track record for relationships, long-term relationships. Every time she gets involved in one, it seems to come to an end and someone gets hurt, usually not her. So I don't know what Remy should know all of her history, what he's getting into, but he and her are seeing each other. Right? And, well, we'll get back to it, but in a few minutes, I'll get back to Remy goes and sees Charlie and all that. Anyway. Okay, so where I was at, the kisses. Charlie and Nova vowed to stick by Ralph Angel as he's fight for custody of his kid. Good luck, Ralph Angel. That is that woman's child, and you are not the biological father. You have no leg to stand on because you should have adopted the child when you found out that it wasn't yours. If you would adopt him, at least you had legal standing with this kid. That's why I think it's so stupid of this family to shit all over Darla like that. They're going to need Darla to be not an enemy. Because eventually that woman's going to want her baby. Now, they vowed, Charlie and Nova vowed to help Ralph Angel. He's there crying. He's afraid Blue is going to get, the more time he spends with her, he's going to be able to be with her more. She made a fancy room. What if you want to be there more? Well, he can love both of you, honey. Most people, well, in an ideal world, most people have a male and a female parent. I wasn't that fortunate, but many, that's the idea. You can have both. He can love you both. But, so Charlie gets him an attorney, and he's going to need one. This sends Ralph into a depression, of course. It's not a big leap to him to get into another depression. He's depressed, so he tells his girl, who he just asked to be more than friends, to be his girlfriend, a few moments ago. So let's say a couple of days has passed now. Now he's coming back to her, oh, maybe we keep things simple now. Trent, what are you getting into, honey? All right, so old Sourpuss said, let's slow things down now. Oh, they want to speed it up a day and a half, Nick. Excuse me. That slipped out. Ralph Angel. Okay, so Nova gets another deal. At first, they were going to publish in some obscure, I don't know what paper it was, where they were going to publish these articles, what she had written so far. Basically, it's an excerpt from the book, a chapter on the father and his depression. Because people don't know about that. I guess it would be an interesting story about what people actually go through down here in this deep South. But now she has another offer. The offer is from the New York Times, right? No, not the New York Times, the New Yorker. New Yorker magazine, big New York City based magazine, right? And Charlie accepts. Okay. She accepts the offer to publish these. There's probably going to be some controversy because Ernest was not only her father, but also Ralph. Oh, I don't like what you did, woman. Do y'all hate it that I don't like Ralph? I'm sorry. I just think he's a sourpuss. Okay. Last thing we see. Remy, now his turn. Now, this girl Nova already told Charlie that she was seeing him, right? Charlie didn't take it well. She don't trust anybody now. You know, she's still angry. She's still, butthurt about her ex and finding out he had a second family. Now she's being betrayed by even the people in her own family, the way she sees it. So she gets a visit. This is from Remy. So Remy comes to her, says our relationship wasn't working, so forth. I don't hear no apology for how she might be feeling right now, but he says he's seeing Nova now, and Charlie kind of threatens him, don't hurt her, don't make her feel the way I feel now, and because somebody's going to get hurt in that thing probably. But she's hurt right now. She wanted to work with him. He's a difficult man. I don't see those two being together. I really don't. But anyway, that's where they left it. That's where they left it. Okay, so see you next week. As far as my TV viewing experience, I've been watching. I never watched Scandal, right? I always said I'll get back to it. I don't like to watch series. If I don't watch the very first episode, usually I'm not that interested. There's a lot of reason why I do Queen Sugar, Greenleaf, The Sopranos. The shows that I like them because I see the first episode and follow them, right? When I didn't follow Scandal, when you guys were talking about it night and day over the last couple of years. So when I ordered this Netflix, I see you can watch the whole series starting with the beginning. This is the way I watch Sopranos too. So anyway, I'm on the middle of season 5 now. For the last 4 days, I've been watching Netflix Scandal around the clock. That's what I've been enjoying lately. But unfortunately, you guys already know the story. You've already been through it, so I won't be able to review it. How did I get on all that? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'll see you next week.